Coming up, Disneyland annual pass holders are going to want to bring their friends to Disneyland this summer. There's going to be a little bit of a parade swap out with Soundsational leaving and Main Street Electrical Parade returning. Emotional Whirlwind opened, and we have a lot more to talk about beyond that, including our review of the Disneyland Hotel. From the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida, and points around Southern California, this is the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged Disneyland Edition, episode 774 for the week of July 3rd, 2019. The Diz Unplugged Disneyland Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disneyland vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. And also by disboards.com. After you're done watching the show, head on over to disboards.com and join on any of the conversations that are happening in many of our forums about Disney, Universal, and more. Once again, head over to disboards.com and join in on the discussion today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Diz Unplugged Disneyland Edition. I am your host in his second week, Craig Williams, and today I am joined alongside by my co-host, Mr. Rhino Clavin.
Hello.
Hello. And then also, I'm going to have to see which one of them pops up first. I believe it's going to be from Fresno, California. We have Mr. Tom Bell.
Hey, everyone.
And then from, again, an undisclosed location somewhere in Southern California, we have
a shelter underground.
Morgan Limon.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Sounds secretive.
Yes, it's very secretive. That's how we all have to be. So,
congrats on your second week, Craig.
Oh, thank you so much. It's it's a lot further than many other people have made it.
That feels aggressive.
No, I'm just joking there. I don't. It's, you know what, they say the first week's the hardest. I say the second week is. The first week they give you a little bit of time to adjust and reflect, and then on the second week.
The second week, you've read the YouTube comments, and you have to drag yourself back into the studio. And
Exactly. No, I do. So I took away a lot from the comments. First off, thank you to everyone out there who is excited and ready for me to become the host of this show. To the ones who said that, Rhino should be the host, I did explain why I'm actually going to be the one hosting this for the time being, at least. But I also agree with you. Rhino would have made an excellent host for this show.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. As he makes that weird duck face. Mm-hmm. You did not get that on the audio.
I brought that back from my MySpace days.
Oh, very good.
The duck lips.
No, it was excellent. I really enjoyed it. So, and then for the final people of everyone who said I talked way too much the last episode.
Well, it is a podcast.
Yeah, that unfortunately is part of it. So I listened to myself, and I'm pretty sure Morgan actually talked for the majority of the show. And then I came in, and no, not in a mean way. It was just that you were the one.
Are you blaming it on me?
No. You had the most information, and so I think I would have to go back and actually measure out times. I'm not going to do it. I don't have that much time, but I'm pretty sure it was Morgan in first place, and then me right below her. So it's
You did a great job.
I'm reading your feedback loud and clear. I'm going to let other people talk today. And if you still give that comment away, then clearly you just have some sort of vendetta against me, and we're never going to fix that. But that's neither here nor there.
I imagine they're the Anakin Skywalker no legs on the burning ashes of Mordor. I know that was not the planet where he was.
Oh,
I hate you.
I remember. Captain Kirk was there, too.
Yeah.
Yes. That was very good stuff. So we have a really big show for you today. Of course, lots of news, as I mentioned in the beginning. And then Rhino and I have our review of Disneyland Hotel that got bumped from last week. But you didn't know about that. But we do have that coming up for you. So we got a lot to get to. Before we get things started, does anyone have any keeping of the house?
One real quick from a year ago.
Okay.
Oh. So when they were going to build the hotel on the West End and everything shut down,
yes,
there was rumors that AMC was moving to Garden Walk.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
So finally, AMC opened in Garden Walk this last weekend. There's AMC 6.
Only
It's a
6
smaller
theaters,
theater,
right? Yeah.
And I don't think it's IMAX or 3D.
It's-
I'd have to check on that. But it's a small theater. But at least there's a theater close to Disneyland now. Again.
It's no IMAX and no Dolby in it. 6-seater, but it does have the nice, all the theaters, I believe, have the reclining chairs in it, though.
Yeah.
So that's nice, yeah.
Does anyone else have any housekeeping?
Yes, I would love to give a big congratulations to my friend who got casted for the electrical parade. So great job, Raquel.
Oh, excellent!
Good job, Raquel Welsh. Good job.
Yes, no, that was good. It would that would have been way more timely if we would have been leading off into the story about
Something.
about Main Street Electrical Parade and such, but unfortunately we're not. We're actually going to start off with a different story, one that I know had Rhino very excited, one that had me temporarily excited, one that probably has many pass holders very excited.
Temporarily? What's wrong with you?
Well, I was excited about it because I thought I was going to be able to take advantage of this ticket offer, but I don't think I will with timing. But other people are allowed to be. So, Rhino, why don't you go ahead and kind of give us the rundown of the Disneyland annual pass holder discount with the Bring a Friend ticket that's happening this summer?
Well, if you got a friend, bring him.
Okay.
If you don't got a friend, it's okay too. Make one. At Disneyland Resort is offering the annual pass holders a chance to bring a friend to the parks to check out all the excitement that this summer has to offer. So it is going on now through August 30th. If you're an annual pass holder, you can purchase a one-day park hopper for a friend at the low price. Get this, $99. That is a steal. Okay, park hopper for $99. A one-day ticket is more than $99. So there is a limit of 3 tickets per day, and the pass holder must be present during the first trip through the turnstile. So some friends you got there that you brought in the park, and they're like, bye, Felicia. So I think this is amazing because you can do 3 a day from now through August 30th. That is a steal. The tickets are only valid the day of purchase. Obviously, that's how you get the annual pass holder to be there to purchase them. The regular adult price for a one-day park hopper ranges anywhere from $154 to $199 per person. So that is like a $50 plus savings right there. And what a great time to go too, because I hear that Galaxy's Edge has had a pretty smooth process, even since we talked about it last week. So it'd be a good time to see that, or just go. I thought we were going to go for Eli's 40th birthday, but he couldn't. He has a work-related trip, and I was like, well, I should just go by myself then.
Yeah, I mean, you could still go by yourself, but you wouldn't be able to take advantage of the deal, so that kind of counters it. But no, this is an amazing offer. So do you think a lot of people will take advantage of it, or is it just another blind attempt at trying to get more people in the park to see Galaxy's Edge? Because as Morgan reported to us in an email, we don't actually like direct text contact or anything like that. But she said that it's the entire week. It's basically been where you just walk right in. I think Tom also confirmed that as well too.
Even on Saturday, it was walk right in, which is crazy.
Well, so they did something like this last year though too, because I went for that Power Ranger convention. Yes, I did that. And it was at the Anaheim Convention Center, and I had rented a house, and I was with friends who had never been to Disneyland, so we went to go one day, and I went up and I just asked randomly about discount on this ticket, and I was able to buy 1 ticket for discounted price. I don't know if that was like only the 1 ticket, but I knew they were saying it was just a special promotion they were doing then, but it wasn't like I didn't know about it, so clearly I don't feel like it was like super pushed like this one was like everywhere, Disney Parks blog and stuff. So yeah.
Well, but most pass holders are still blocked out, aren't they? I mean, I think it's just Signature and Signature Plus that can get in most of the summer. So I'm not sure who they're expecting to buy a ticket for a friend.
So they're opening it up slightly, and this way they can still make money, I guess.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, maybe Tom will take his son to the park for once.
Yes. I thought about that.
But you're not.
I might.
Okay.
We'll see.
Nope, that's fine.
See if he has a free weekend, but between band and scouts and everything else he has going on.
And the fact that he's just too cool to go to the parks with his dad.
And he's
Yes.
it's rude.
He might enjoy Galaxy's Edge.
I'm kidding. I would love to go to the parks with Tom Bell. I have. I recommend it. If you have the opportunity to, I highly recommend it.
Don't buy him a Ronto roaster. He won't enjoy it.
A Ronto wrap. You can't buy him the whole restaurant.
Buy him the restaurant. Tom demands it.
Tom needs all the jerky.
Yeah.
All of it. But yeah, cool deal. If you have the right type of annual pass that's not blocked out and you're going during this time, then buy tickets for your friends. Maybe you can take advantage of this offer. Like I said, I know I would have if I was going, but I will not be going with anyone who doesn't already have an annual pass, I believe. So not going to be able to take advantage of it for me. But moving along, so some of the other big news this week was about parades. And the first parade announcement, I believe, came in that Mickey's Soundsational parade will be leaving us. Tom, what's the scoop on that?
Actually, the other news came in first.
Never mind.
They were within 2 days of each other, but so Mickey Soundsational will be ending its run early. Even on the calendar, I think they had because the Disneyland calendar goes 6 weeks out, and I think they had it scheduled in late July and into August. But Mickey Soundsational Parade will be ending July 17th. Its last performance at Disneyland Park, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't like parades often. I'm just not a parade person, but there's just something really fun about this parade I've enjoyed. And I get it, you got to make way for other stuff. But the thing that really annoys me is the other thing that's coming in is old.
Not well, and it's not. It doesn't happen at the same time.
Yeah. So why get rid of the one? Yeah.
Why can't Disneyland have two?
How dare you?
I think it would be.
They can't afford it. That's why. They can't afford to have two parades.
2 parades and fireworks. You're asking too much.
Exactly. And Fantasmic. Yes.
And Fantasmic.
How dare you?
That's just greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It can get very expensive for all those performers and such. So that does make sense on that. So I know there was the one rumor that was floating around out there. I don't know how well it was received that Mickey's Soundsational, when it does go away, it's definitely not coming back. And there will be, the next time they debut a daytime parade, that will be a brand new one. Do we actually... I mean, I'm not asking us to sit here and speculate on it, but do we think this will be the last time we ever see Soundsational, or do we expect to see it again in the future?
I love Soundsational so much, and I watch it every time I go visit, but I think it might be the last time because the parade floats are actually falling apart. It's like 10 years old, if I'm correct. Wow. But yeah, it's actually a lot older than I thought. But yeah, there's most likely a new parade coming.
I feel like it's time. I will say this about Disneyland. One of the things that I love about it is how you guys can just bring back something old like that for like a temporary offering. You know, you change out your fireworks shows and you can pop back to the 50th anniversary ones. You're doing the 60th anniversary ones now. And then like, you know, you brought back Soundsational, and then, you know, as much as I don't care. I mean, I don't care. I'm not wild about the thing we haven't talked about yet, but I think it's cool that you can do that. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, there hasn't been a new parade offering since I've been going to the parks for 4 years now. I guess Pixar Pal Around. No, that was there when I first went that first year. I think in 2015, it was in
the
California
Pixar Play Parade.
Yeah, it was in California Adventure, right? So, sorry, Pal Around. Yeah, they're my pals, and we're palling around.
Yeah, sure. I can definitely see that it could be time for this to finally go. I will say the one thing that I have in terms of regret is the past couple trips. I want to say not this year, but back the last couple times before when Soundsational was running, it was always that parade waiting where it was like 3 or 4 people deep. no matter where you went on the parade route. And so I passed over it so many times because of that. And then definitely the last time that we were in California for Galaxy's Edge and stuff, it was, you could walk up and watch the parade 5 minutes before it was happening and get a great spot. And even with that, even when we were there in March, I know there was still plenty of spots around, but we were so busy on those trips, I didn't get a chance to watch it. But and I know I'm not going to get back out before it goes away to see it one last time. So selfishly, I hope this isn't the end of it, because I do want that one last time to see it and film it properly with how I like filming stuff. Not that you didn't do a good job on it, Tom. You did. And I know that came off me sounding like I didn't appreciate your work. I do appreciate your work, but it's like it's been since I think 2013 since I did like a nice 2-camera shoot of that parade, and that was back when we were using terrible cameras and stuff. So I wish I had one more time with it, but sadly, don't think that's going to happen. But as we've already alluded to in this too, Main Street Electrical Parade will be returning. And what's the deal with that?
So to make way in the budget for, the demise of Soundsational makes way in the budget, as Morgan said, for the return of the Main Street Electrical Parade again to Disneyland Park beginning August 2nd. There were some Twitter pictures floating around last week or so of one of the bugs returning to the resort. There were rumors that maybe it was going into California Adventure, but Parks Blog announced that it is going to Disneyland Park, and as we said, Soundsational is going away. I'm a little disappointed that it's not Paint the Night returning to California Adventure to try to spread out the crowds, but that's just me.
Wait, so Paint the Night is not coming back anywhere?
Not that I've heard.
Oh, I misread everything. I thought for some reason that was coming back to California Adventure again, and I think I was reading like what Tom just said, some wishful thinking, and
yeah.
And so
in our private conversations, I said something about that it would be great if they had both and they could just battle.
The odd part about it is the fact that it's only running through September 30th. The Halloween party is over at California Adventure this year.
They could keep doing
am I the only one who finds something odd about that they're just going to end it at September 30th when technically they could continue having it run through?
Are you suggesting...
Or is there something else that I'm missing in this?
And then there's nothing at Disneyland?
Yeah. Besides fireworks and Fantasmic.
Right.
Yeah. Something just seems off.
You think they're gonna announce something new?
No, I don't necessarily think that, but I think that's like
weird timing.
With Paint the Night, it makes sense for me. It would be really odd to bring that back and then have to go down because of Halloween and having that conflict.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But with Main Street Electrical Parade, it's just I clearly it must be missing something for why it would end September 30th and then just be done. But
because they have nothing to replace it if they're getting rid of Soundsational.
Yeah.
Pixar Pals I don't think is coming back.
I don't like that parade.
Maybe they're just gonna eventually deal with like what we're dealing with here in Walt Disney World, where there's just no love at the nighttime.
Well, there'd be no love nighttime or daytime because there'd be nothing. So that's the interesting thing to me. Has there been in the recent past a time when there hasn't been a parade? Period.
I feel like there was beginning of this year before Sound came back.
There was no
parade. I remember
parade.
correctly. I feel like there was a gap of just no parades. But like I think they had Mickey's Mixed Magic. I think was the only thing.
So they had the nighttime offering, but no daytime parade. Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But they had Mixed Magic, and that was the best.
I like Mixed Magic.
Yeah, I know.
I miss it.
It's. I think we're the only people here who do. But
are they still using that? Because I had read that when Disneyland Forever can't be shown because of winds, that they'll show Mickey's Mixed Magic instead.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, that
haven't
was early.
seen that
That was early
late.
on, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that seems a great idea if they can just insert a show like that into that. It's a nice recovery. And that's what I felt like Mixed Magic anyways. It should be kind of how they do the castle show at Hogwarts at Universal Studios, is that have it be a thing that goes on every so often, 2 or 3 times a night. I want to dance.
Yeah, I prefer Disneyland Forever if we're gonna compare the two, going up head to head. But I wouldn't.
I don't think
wouldn't
about
say
them as
no.
being the same thing. That's the thing. Like Disneyland Forever to me is like this fireworks designed to be a fireworks show and a company together. And I know Mickey's Mixed Magic, I feel like was them tiptoeing into something else, but they didn't really commit all the way to it. You know?
I see, and I
Yeah,
don't.
I agree with you.
I don't fully agree with that too. The visuals that they used for Disneyland Forever are beautiful as well too. I could stand there and appreciate it. It's not high energy. It doesn't make you want to dance, but I could just sit in and kind of
Without
take it all in
fireworks?
for a little while. Yeah, that's just me though. But we're gonna get off nighttime and we're gonna make it back to all times of the day, and that is because during all times of the day you can now experience the Inside Out emotional whirlwind over at Pixar Pier, and I know our California people had the chance to check it out over the course of it opening and the weekend. So Morgan, why don't you run us through it all first, and Tom, feel free to step in when you can.
Sure. So the Emotional Whirlwind opened Friday, and the Disneyland ambassador and the president of California Venture was there to cut the ribbon and open it officially. Joy and Sadness were there, and we haven't seen them in the parks other than like the play parade last year. So it was really sweet to have them there. There's actually a really perfect memory wall for the meet and greet spot. The ride is adorable. The theming's amazing. There's posters of like Train of Thought and Cloud Town and Goofball Island and stuff around the queue. It's just really cute. I think my favorite part is each time you ride it, there's a different emotion taking over. So for Disgust, if she's controlling it, she'll be like, "Yay, we're going nowhere," with like an attitude. And then if Fear's controlling it, he'll be like, all right, as long as it doesn't start spinning. And then obviously it starts spinning, and then he's like freaking out. So it's just very entertaining to be on it because you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, Tom, do you want to put your input?
I actually, it's really nice for what it is. I mean, it's what a BC ticket, but it's really well done. And like you were saying, every ride it's a little bit different because you have a different character hosting. Music's a little different. The wait even on the Saturday was 15-20 minutes maybe. They've got it nicely organized. They assign you a vehicle to ride in, so there's no fighting over who's going to be in the unicorn.
On Friday they didn't have that, and so like I ran to the unicorn first because they didn't have that till I think later on that day or something like that, but they didn't have that in the beginning of the day, and I was like, I want the unicorn one.
Yep. So overall, no complaints. Feels like it just fit in there the entire time. Just took way too long.
Oh, it's cute. I still get dizzy on it, but like not like a day ender, but I think the thing that makes it different than when it was at Bugs Land, other than just amazing theming, is that it's on a higher platform. So like it does get quite high. So hopefully you don't have a fear of heights if your little ones do. But yeah, it's cute. It's really cute. The theming's amazing.
And cute Disney details. The stars that are on California Screamin' that are all over the gold stars. Inside the area where Emotional Whirlwind is, they painted them lavender to match the attraction.
Oh, yeah, that's nice, subtle little theming right
subtle.
in there. I see that now in the pictures. So that's cool. That's a cool little detail to notice on there. So excellent. I can't wait to get out and ride it. I was listening to the video Tom shot of it and all the different little musical interludes that they have as you're riding the attraction, and it did seem like a lot of fun. And I'm a sucker for good music. That's why something like Jesse's Critter Carousel, which many people could say, well, it's just kind of a boring carousel. I love it because of all the different music that they have in there, on top of the critters being adorable. So I feel like this is the same way. I want to ride in a bing bong balloon and hear some sad music. That nothing sounds better than that, in my opinion. But that's just me. So I believe that is it for the emotional whirlwind. So now we're just going to run through a little bit of a rapid fire look at some of the latest things happening at Disneyland as well, too, that we don't have a lot to say about. So Disneyland Park opened up the Haunted Mansion exhibit inside the Disney Gallery. I'm assuming it's to coordinate with the 50th anniversary of the Haunted Mansion that is coming up here very rapidly.
Is that July 13th?
No, it's late August, right?
Sorry. I didn't
okay.
mean to ask a question we didn't have an answer.
See, the problem is Kylie and I, the first day of our vacation we took last August was the 49th anniversary. I just don't remember which days we traveled, but I know for sure that we traveled in August. So I can say that much. It is sometime then. But anywho, what's actually in this gallery? Can anyone help me here?
Yeah, so it's a bunch of concept art from just early ideas of the Haunted Mansion, and there's two little displays of, like, there's one of the clay heads from one of the ghosts, and there's just like little miniatures of like a seesaw part on the graveyard scene, and it's really cute. There's not too much in it. I was only in it for like 5 minutes, but it's nice to like get the history behind it.
Where is it?
Where is it? Oh, it's in Lincoln. The Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln lobby.
Yeah.
Yep, they're very cool. So until it gets kicked out by the next preview that ends up showing in there, and they add maquettes and stuff from that. What's the next one coming up?
Lion King.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but
maybe it'll stay around
Frozen.
Until after that. Yeah, you're right. Frozen 2.
Frozen. Yeah.
That'll be the one that kicks it out, or even worse, Maleficent 2. Oh, it's going to be bad. But just to bring it all back there, the anniversary is August 9th. 1969. So I knew August was right. I just didn't know what exactly.
Okay, yeah. So because they're doing that party, and that coincides with those dates. So yeah, that makes sense.
That was the word I was looking for. Coincide. Thank you, Tom, with the assist there. So also, Pixar Pals opened up as of June 30th. Who parked in there? Anyone?
I didn't park in there because you don't really have a choice, but I did walk through it. I don't know if we talked last week. On last week's show, they had opened the new security area and tram loading area, which is at the base of Pixar Pals. And then on Sunday, they opened the actual parking lot itself. It's 5 different levels, just like Mickey and Friends. They're attached. You can walk across the bridge. I think they rushed to open this. They were filling up Mickey and Friends before they were filling up Pixar Pals, but I don't think Custodial has even had a chance to go in there yet. Trash cans are still covered with construction dust. They installed these new lights to tell you when there's a parking place. All those weren't working yet. The good thing, though, is there are extra elevators now in Pixar Pals, because I think Mickey and Friends just has, 2 elevators? Mm-hmm. So this one has 3 that go down to the tram area, plus another 2 that go down on the other side to the street side. So if you go into the hotel or something like that and you don't have to go to a tram, there's an additional 2 elevators that go down to that. What else was I going to say? Oh, why I'm still not sure why they spent the money to install those the lights, that tell you if there's spaces or not in both Mickey and Friends and in this, because most of the day, correct me if I'm wrong, Morgan, most of the day they're parking you and telling you exactly where to park. I'm not sure at what point they stopped doing that. Is it like
I would say after like 12 o'clock, really? They'll just kind of let you do a free-for-all, and they'll direct you like what level, but finding a spot is quite difficult. So those are actually really nice when it says like there's 20 spots down this lane. So I'm like, okay, I have a good shot of getting closer spots. So I do like them. But I agree with you about, I feel like they rushed it because the pedestrian walkway bridge from Pixar PAL Parking isn't even open yet and doesn't even look nearly done towards the end of it with like the construction of it. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I think they said September that the pedestrian bridge would be done. So that'll be nice.
Very cool. So try to park in Mickey and Pals if you have the
anyway,
chance, I guess.
Mickey
numbers
and
real
Pals.
quick. It does add 5,000 spaces to the resort. Initially, the numbers was 6,500, but my guess is they didn't account for the new tram loading area at the bottom. So adds 50% to that area because I think Mickey and Friends is about 10,000. So they're adding an additional 5,000 spaces, which is hopefully gonna fix some of the parking issues.
Yeah, no, better than nothing. I'll say that. So also, besides that, other new update, Black Panther has a new meet and greet spot. Where is it at?
It is hidden away. It's right next to the Captain Marvel meet and greet. It's kind of in the back corner. Like you could really almost miss it if you don't walk into like the Hollywoodland area. But it's a really cool setup. There's a big yellow archway, and it's just a really epic feeling. But there's like kind of almost like a little mini stage area with like an awning, which is nice for the characters. And there's like paneling, and I actually want to go back at night because it looks like it'd be a really cool lighting effect there. But the picture, it just turned out really, really epic. And they have the music from the movie playing in that area, so it just like gets you pumped. And I'm like, finally, Black Panther gets a really cool meet and greet spot because it's been a while since like he first got here, and then he got a spot, and then they kicked him out of it. So I really like it, and I think it's really cool for Marvel fans.
Are the Dora Milaje still coming out?
Yes, they're awesome.
Okay, good.
So is this back where, and is the not DVC, the Disney Visa photo op still back there too?
So while you're waiting in line to meet Black Panther, you can actually see like which character is for the Disney Visa. So I'm always like, oh, is it Stitch?
Because who would want to meet Stitch?
Day, I think.
Like, honestly.
Bleh.
I guess
What?
someone out there.
I don't like Stitch.
It's fine. We're just hating on Stitch right now back here. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I think they had Stitch on the 26th all day, so
Well, I mean,
you missed it.
that's lots of people make mistakes, like even waiting no time to meet Stitch. So Rhino's made that mistake before, but very cool for the Black Panther. That is awesome news for him. And then wrapping things up with kind of this rapid fire segment, have to mention that tomorrow, as of the day that this is released, it will be our country's Independence Day. That's the 4th of July. If you are unaware of that, I hope that that most of the Americans, at least out there, are
I've seen the film.
aware. Yeah, good. I'm glad. You've also seen Born on the 4th of July as well, too. So you've seen all the patriotic
Did you know
films
that
out there.
Tom Cruise's birthday is July 3rd?
Ironic.
Happy birthday,
Just
Tom.
one day off.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's lots of happenings around the Disneyland Resort on July 4th if you're going to be there in attendance. So, and if you're listening to this on July 5th, you missed out. Maybe you saw all this stuff. If you didn't, I apologize. But just to give you an idea, at Disneyland, you can meet Mickey in his patriotic outfit from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. in Town Square of Disneyland. They will have the flag retreat ceremony, which is a perfect day to be there. They have it every day, but this one's a lot more meaningful, obviously, on Independence Day. That'll be at 4:30 in Town Square. You have Disney Celebrate America, a 4th of July concert in the sky happening at 9:30. And if you want reserved viewing for this, they also have that special dinner at Plaza Inn. Is this still available, Tom, or you think it sold out, or any idea?
I don't think so because they're still promoting it, so probably not.
Fantastic. Well, there's that. And then besides that, around other places on property, at the Sandbar at Paradise Pier Hotel, they'll have barbecue on the pool deck from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you're there, there's a great view of Disney fireworks, according to them. I'm not sure if I believe them, but that's their prerogative. At the Disneyland Hotel, they will have family activities from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock, including live music, face painting, caricatures, and treats. I know Rhino is a big fan of face painting. It's his favorite thing to do in life. And then at Downtown Disney, there's obviously going to be a lot of treats spread out throughout the area. So there will be the American Mini Sampler at Sprinkles, berry ice cream at Salt and Straw, a firecracker cocktail at Splitsville Luxury Lanes, and then the one thing that I cannot recommend that anyone goes and tries and wastes their money on will be the patriotic red, white, and blue cake shake from Black Tap Craft Burgers and Shakes. You're going to spend $19 on that milkshake, and you're going to drink like $2 worth of a milkshake. I'm still bitter
and you're
about that
gonna get
place.
sticky and messy.
No one needs sticky hands. If one person in your group says, I really want cake, and the other person says, I really want a milkshake, go crazy.
You sound like a Reese's peanut butter cup commercial.
That I do, sir. That I do. But that's just how I feel on it. So that's all the 4th of July stuff happening. So, of course, it's a perfect time to say
America.
Happy Independence Day to all us Americans out there. I'm sorry for all you English folk. What?
It's really going to be interesting because 4th of July is typically the busiest or the second busiest day of the year.
Really?
And at Disneyland, and with the crowds the way they've been the last week, I'm kind of curious how it's going to be in the parks on July 4th. I still don't want to go because it is one of the busiest days of the year, but I'm just curious to see how it deals with how crowds respond on the 4th.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So, Morgan, will you be there?
I don't have plans, but I can.
No,
Actually, I'll be there in the morning. There's a pin being released.
We're not asking you to be there, but if you're going to be in the morning anyways, let us know what the crowds look like.
Now I'm curious myself. I might just go.
Yeah,
kind of like Galaxy's Edge. Like I was just curious for myself, not even necessarily for you guys and reporting about it.
Okay, well, just let us know on next week's show what the crowd levels ended up being like for Independence Day. But happy Independence Day to everyone out there, and especially to everyone who is in our military, our armed forces. So they are the ones making sure that we are able to have independence. Rhino seems confused by that, but
I'm not.
It's not a confusing thing.
It's not.
They protect your butts left and right.
I am aware. I come from a military family. Surprising fact about myself.
Yeah. I know you do. So, and we appreciate you. But anyways, that is it for all of the news items that we have this week for the show. And we are now going to move into our quick little ending segment that Rhino have. Not super quick, but not super long either. But we are finally going to give our review of our stay at Disneyland Hotel. So this is a big one. So Rhino finally got to stay at Disneyland Hotel after eons of waiting, or in actualities, I believe 4 years. Give or take.
Yeah, 4 years. 4 years.
Yeah, so
it's been 84 years.
It has been 84 years. So the context of this, we were staying at Disneyland Hotel while we were out there covering Galaxy's Edge. So you might be saying to yourself, well, how did you really get a good feel for the hotel while you were always busy running around the parks and busy in Galaxy's Edge and just you probably didn't have any time to enjoy your hotel. And I can say wholeheartedly, I think this trip I spent more time in the hotel room than I have ever spent on any trip.
Oh no, 100%. This one day one, because you were doing the media stuff and I was just editing all those social media videos that I didn't even leave. I'm glad I had brought snacks in my my check bag because I woke up at whatever ungodly hour because we hadn't switched time zones yet really for my body, and I was in the hotel until like 4:30 and I was like, I gotta go get something to eat right now, and before you were going to come back out from Galaxy's Edge to have more video to edit. And so I was like, this is the longest I've ever just sat and been in a Disney hotel, I think.
Yeah, so it's actually, I feel like this is one of the best hotel reviews we could ever deliver just because this was like our little apartment that we had for for the 5 or 6 days that we were there, however long it was. But we'll kind of go over the entire breakdown of our experience here. I'm not going to really go in depth on the history, just to mention that, of course, Disneyland Hotel is the first hotel that was on Disneyland property, actual Disneyland property. Of course, it wasn't owned by Disney for the longest time. It was owned by the Rathers, right, Tom? I always forget.
Rathers.
Yeah, the Rathers, and then eventually Disney bought it, and there is nothing actually remaining of the original structure of the hotel, but the history is still alive there, and I will try to find it for our show notes page and include a link into it. But we did a show with Don Ballard.
No. Don Ballard, yeah.
Don Ballard,
He
right?
wrote the book.
Yes,
Yeah.
Don Ballard, who wrote multiple books on Disneyland Hotel.
His book is on my coffee table.
Yes, we have an excellent interview with him where he kind of takes us throughout the entire history of the hotel through the Rather years, because that's where his specialty lies in with the hotel, not after it transformed into what it is today with Disney taking over it. But that's a good way to get a nice refresher on the history of the hotel. But we're interested in the hotel as it is. And for me, I'll start off here. This is when I think of my favorite hotels on any Disney property that I've had the chance to be at. This is up there. It is like magic slapping you in the face the second you walk in the door, let alone the second you pull up. So like if you're being dropped off by the airport or driving on yourself, you first make your way past the nice big Disneyland Hotel sign that just kind of, to me, with that classic Disneyland font, it just kind of gives me the shivers as I pull in. It's like my Disneyland trip is about to begin when I'm staying at Disneyland Hotel. It evokes that meaning. And then you see the towers as you pull up, the nice blue towers, contrasting with hopefully the beautiful blue skies of Anaheim. And it really, really starts getting you very amped up for it. And like I said, then once you walk in the door, the first thing that you're hit with is this giant poster of Disneyland Park, but with all these beautiful little animations that are done with lights I stand and stare at this thing every single time I'm there. And lately they've had a security guard standing like right beside it, and I feel like they think I'm crazy because I'm just staring at it all the time. But it just, the magic doesn't end from there. You go to the checkout area, you have the teacups where you can sit and wait and just hang out in these teacups, because this is the fantasy tower, so it has to bring in the fantasy element. But that's just the start of it. And it doesn't end there. Whether you're going into the adventure tower or the frontier tower, that magic and fantasy, it still is all throughout. And then the pool area with the monorail poles and Trader Sam's Tangaroa Terrace, it's just, you can't get too far in this hotel without feeling some sort of Disney connection. I mean, it is there, trying to make sure that this is the Disneyland Hotel every step of the way. But Rhino, you're a fan of the more rustic appeal and comfort and beautifulness to the Grand Californian. So what did you think of actually, I know you've been in the Disneyland Hotel many times, but what did you think about the entire atmosphere there now as a staying guest?
Yeah, I think it's great. I don't know that it is like leaking as much magic as you just said, but I think the service was great. I thought the hotel was incredibly clean. I never had issues with the elevators, which was one of my concerns, and we were on like the top floor. We had an awesome, what turned out to be kind of an accidental great view of Galaxy's Edge, so we could like watch fireworks from our room, and we were just in a standard view, I think. And I did really enjoy it. I mean, it wasn't perfect for me, but I also was not let down after all these years either. So it was great. I enjoy, the backboards and the beds with the kiss goodnight.
Well, let's talk about the room and the design of the room. It's got this color scheme of kind of blues and whites and with the brown. So, and there's just little hidden Mickey touches all around, whether it's on the lamp or on the carpet. And I guess the carpet could actually be kind of a carousel, or not the carousel, but the carriage
Yeah.
kind of a Cinderella carriage look. But there's all those details. Rhino just mentioned the headboard, the Kiss Goodnight headboard. What's that all about?
It's a well, not painting, but it's a depiction of Sleeping Beauty Castle, done in sort of a pixie dust style, with Tinkerbell, and there's a button that you flip on and it'll glow, and it'll play When You Wish Upon a Star as you.
No, it actually plays A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? Wish Upon a Star?
Yeah.
It's because
You would expect it to.
When you wish upon a star.
Or wait, is it When You Wish Upon a Star?
Makes no difference who you are. That's the theme of the Walt Disney Company.
No, it's A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes.
No, this is a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast. It's When You Wish Upon a Star. Because that is the Disney theme, isn't it? Isn't that the official,
that
played at the beginning of all your VHS collections from, Buena Vista?
It is, but...
Anyway, it's cute. I do enjoy that. I think it's very nice. I think the rooms are very elegant, but not off-putting. I feel you immediately feel comfortable. When you're right, it is a dream.
Yeah.
You sure it doesn't play more than one song?
Positive.
Okay.
I believe it's a music box, and those have very small limitations in terms of how many
500
songs they can play.
Yeah.
500. Yeah, one day they will add an MP3 player in there, and God, that's just dated myself. They'll put a Zune in there, and you just press it, and it'll play a different Disney song. It'll do they'll
put the hot clips from McDonald's in there.
Fantastic. But the one thing I will say in complaints of the room is that they are starting to feel dated, even for me now.
I don't know that it felt dated for me, but our room was very clean and it was very nice. I really actually liked the setup of the bathroom because it was its own room with a door. But in that room with the door, you had the toilet was off to one side in its own little watershed, little closet with a door, and then you had the sink was in the main part with the shower. And I like when a bathroom is separated like that inside of another separation, because it makes it feel very, I've used this word already, very elegant to me, where you're like, I'm fancy because the toilet's in another room. But I like that compared to at Grand Californian, where it's that sliding door now that never, no matter what hotel I've ever been in, that sliding door will never stay closed and it doesn't lock. And I am one of those people that I just always lock the door whenever I go into anything, cars, bathrooms, anything.
Yeah,
So.
for me, it's just I stay in Disneyland Hotel actually pretty regularly. Not I'm not doing a humble brag. It just always is where I seem to end up from time to time. It has been a while since I've stayed there, but for me, this was the first time that I noticed the carpet in our room wasn't in perfect condition. There was some wear and tear on some of the actual furniture. It wasn't anything was disgusting. Like you said, it was perfectly clean. And for as messy as we were in our little apartment for a couple days, the housekeeping staff also kept it very clean for us throughout the entire time. So literally no complaints on that. It was clean as you could be. It's just, it does feel it feels like when it gets that next upgrade to the rooms that it will be worth it, but it may be, I will be sad because it's the room, still that same style of the room for the first time that I stayed in it, and I will be sad to see it change. But if they could make a huge positive change like they did with Grand Californian, going from their old rooms to
the new ones
they have now, sign me up. Give a Disneyland Hotel treatment to that. But we were lucky enough that we were in somewhat of a decent sized room. So we had a 2 queen bed room. At first it was looking like we might end up with only a king bed room, and that would have been a problem.
Spooning.
Yes, all the time. But no, you would have been staying with Tom, and then I would have stayed with Tom. It was going to be a whole ordeal. Tom wouldn't have wanted any of it.
No.
He would not have had fun. But that's neither here nor there. But we did end up with the 2 queen room, and I feel like those are comfortable size. So we had enough room to have an extra chair to sit in while we were in there. I will say that like in the Adventure Tower, if you get a 2-queen bedroom in there, they actually, if I remember correctly, some of the rooms have like a couch as well too, because those rooms are actually a little bit bigger even than the ones we stayed in. It's definitely a longer layout. But I've also been in rooms in the Adventure Tower where there's only a chair there too. So maybe it's just depending on what level you book. Maybe like a room for 5, then you get the couch with it.
I will say too, the layout of space, like we only had the 3 drawers really, and then there's the full closet where you could hang a couple things. But I like to unpack when I get there, so I feel like Disney in this new versions of their rooms, both at Disney World and Disneyland, has been much better with full utilization of space and understanding that people really want to like empty their suitcase when they're on vacation.
Yeah, and for us, also going off that, we just booked a standard room, which when you're booking a standard room, you're pretty much guaranteed a view of an area that's not super amazing. However, that's now the second time that I've booked a standard room, ended up in the Fantasy Tower, and indirectly, if you're far enough over to one side, you will have a very beautiful theme park view. And now even more so because we were looking, I could sit out of my bed, which was next to the window, and I was just looking directly at Galaxy's Edge the entire time. And it was wonderful. And for fireworks, we only were in the room for one night for fireworks just because of our schedules.
Happened to be there at the right time. Yeah.
Realized that we actually had probably about the best view you could get in a room for fireworks as well too. And we were just standing right at the glass, watching out the window. I could have stayed in bed the entire time. So they'll try to sell you on like the premium view for looking down into the pool area, or try to get you to look at the downtown Disney area, which also indirectly you can see all the way out to the parks as well too. But you might as well go for.
I just say take your
the
chances.
Standard view and take your chances on it. You can even ask. I can say we are on the 11th floor, looking out. I don't remember our room number anymore, but ask to be in that Fantasy Tower in a very high room, and chances are you'll have an epic view. You do look at parking lots too, but we are also able to see knots out of our hotel room as well too. The mountains when the sky was right, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Now, my complaint for this hotel is really in the access to food. I feel like if you're not, there's Steakhouse 55, which is a great restaurant, with a lobby, a lobby bar as well that you can sit at and order food and stuff like that. Then you've got Goofy's Kitchen, which I went on as part of an ABD last year, and I loved Goofy's Kitchen. And then you've got Tangaroa Terrace and Trader Sam's. But the problem is Tangaroa Terrace, I'm not sure what the hours when it ends, but if you don't want what's on that menu for quick service, you're kind of out of luck, I feel like. But I guess you could say the same at Grand Californian too, but I don't know. I just felt like the selection of food wasn't where I would have liked, because especially I was really hungry that one day, and I was like, I just need to eat something, and there was nothing, and we'd already eaten there. So if you've eaten at Tangaroa Terrace once of your trip, it's not really a place that I want to keep repeating over and over again, not because I don't like it, but because it's a limited menu.
Well, and we, not to sound like bratty in this way, but we almost always end up at Tangaroa Terrace or Trader Sam's multiple times each trip.
Yeah.
Because even if Pete's staying at Grand Californian, any other hotel, that's where he likes to end up. He likes the atmosphere, and he likes sitting there and enjoying the food as well too. So we eat there so often that then once we're staying here, it was kind of like, I don't really want that.
Right. Yeah.
So I did eat it once while we were staying there, and it's still the same food as every other time we've reviewed it. It's still tasty, and it's delicious. And I like the access to Trader Sam's there. I was feeling pretty much miserable my entire trip, but there was one night in particular that Rhino and I were like, you know what? We're exhausted. We're tired. but still going to have a cocktail down at Trader Sam's anyways to cap off the night, and having that open very late, it was like a very nice perk to have on that. I know.
Is
like,
that the night we met my friends?
It was, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
Who watched this show as well?
Yes. Yeah, so I do enjoy the dining that's there, but for me it really is like, it's not, if I was staying right at Disneyland Hotel, I wouldn't make it my quest to be like, okay, I need to eat at Tangaroa Terrace at least 2 times, and I don't need to eat at Goofy's Kitchen. I don't need to eat at that every time. I don't need to eat at Steakhouse 55. It's all there if you want it for convenience. It's wonderful, but it's not a requirement.
I mean, you're steps away from downtown Disney. You can just go in there and get stuff too. I think it was just one of those. I was at a weird timing of things, and I was kind of like, I'm a little bit frustrated right now that I can't find somewhere that I can just like go and grab something quick.
And I will say that after our last trip, when we stayed at the Anaheim Hotel, for the most part, we used the security in the entrance to Disneyland into the Esplanade that you would if you were staying on that side. But a couple times we did loop around back and had to go through security by Disneyland Hotel. And I felt like every time we did it on that trip, it was super backed up all the time. But I don't think I think maybe one time we had to wait like 4 or 5 people deep in line to get through security into downtown Disney. And the rest of the time we just walked. We basically walked right up and got through security with no issues. So that was kind of a concern for me this time, being like, okay, well, you're spending all that money and you do have to go through security, but you don't want it to be a hassle.
Yeah.
And it ended up being very smooth and easy.
Yeah.
So I really have no complaints with that. And then in terms of, like you already mentioned, the cast there.
Oh, and they were all excellent.
Above and beyond.
Yeah.
So, like we mentioned, we almost had a king room because of the way things were booked. It was a little bit messy, but ultimately they were able to make absolute magic for us. And I want to preface this: they didn't have any idea who we were. There was one cast member. I wish I remembered your name, but he did recognize us and he knew of us. But at the same time, like the person helping us, the people helping us, they had no idea who we were. It's not like we were flagged in a system, and it's not like I was there for media and they knew I was there for that and they need to go above and beyond. We were kind of facing where we were really hoping and had it on our reservation that we'd like two queen beds instead of a king, and hoping it would happen. And ultimately, when it came down to it, they made the magic happen for us, and they were able to pull through on it. So then we got a very, very comfortable stay in that room because of it. Otherwise, like Rhino said, it would have been spooning. And I mean, I was with a fever that I was running.
Ugh.
He would have been sweated. He would have just been covered in my sweat all night. Yeah, it would have been disgusting. But beyond that, the one issue I would say is the price. I know Pete, we go back and forth with Pete on this all the time, and that, Grand Californian is definitely the premier level, and he feels that the price is fair for what you get there, and he feels the price is fair with all the levels. For me, he ultimately paid for it, but I had it sitting on my credit card for months, so I feel like I also have the stress from this hotel on me. It was right around, we couldn't get any big discounts, so it was right around $600 a night with taxes and such.
Lord.
So for us, it was necessary because we definitely wanted to make sure that we had that one reservation, that one guaranteed reservation into Galaxy's Edge. So it was necessary for that. But I will never, for me personally, I know it can be different for you. And this is where our view comes in, not as people that are from Disney. At Disney World, I never fathom the hotels because I live here. Why would I do that? Unless it's specifically for the experience of staying at the hotel, and making it a hotel day. There's no scenario where I'm going to go to Disneyland and just want to spend a ton of time in the hotel, because I am there, and even when I don't mean to be in the park from open to close, it seems to always happen that all of a sudden it's 12:30 and I'm like, whoops, I stayed till close again. So for me personally, just how I am and how I grew up, it seems a waste
to spend so much on a hotel that I'm barely in. With that said, this was the time that was the exception where there was a whole day I was basically in this hotel, and it was very comfortable. And and if this is within your means, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But it is expensive, and if you're a family, you got a bunch of people going, it's kind of one of those where you're like, do you do a good neighbor for less?
But that's a good way to put it. If it is in your means, then I think it does have that worth to it. And this is the second time I've actually been lucky where I've stayed here and ended up just by circumstances spending so much time in the room. We did it this time because we needed a place to edit all of our stuff from Galaxy's Edge. So we were just cramped in there the entire time. Another time I was there with my wife and she was violently ill. And so we weren't going into the park. So we were just enjoying that hotel room that we booked for the night. And it was it was even less than half of the cost of this. So at that level, I was like, wow, $250. Ay chihuahua, but I felt like I got my value out of it. So,
but if you're going, let's say you're going and you're making like a 3-day trip and you're only doing 2 of the days in the park, you're one of those people where you're like, all right, 1 day, 1 park ticket, or each day, and you're like, I'll devote it back and forth. And then the third day, you want to hang. It's not a hotel that would be a bad hotel to like have some drinks at Trader Sam's or hang out by the pool. No, you can do that as well, or take advantage of other amenities or whatever. But
I think it's a perfect place for a pool day. The monorail pool is just it's one of my favorites,
and it's one of the things that I kind of like. I even brought the bathing suit because I was like, I want to make sure I go and check that out, and it just ended up being way too busy to be able to do that. But it is one of those few things where I'm like, the pools at these resorts, I never get to spend any time with them, and one of these days.
Yeah, I kind of, but I'm going to just piggyback on there as we end it. I would say if you are staying 5, 6, 7 days, you might, unless you have unlimited resources or you're planning that this is going to be the only time I go to Disneyland in 10 years, I would maybe look at that for this. But if you're talking 5, 6, 7 days, I would probably lean more towards staying off site still, maybe at like the Hojo or one of the hotels that is very close right across, but still very comfortable. But other than that, it's if you're like you said, 3 days, if it's feasible with that, I might as well do 2 days in the park, day at the resort to just enjoy all the amenities are there and have a good time. So it is still, even though I love it unconditionally, I feel like at this point, it's my favorite hotel there. Grand Californian, I understand the appeal to it. I understand why people love it. But for me, it's Disneyland Hotel all the way. And Paradise Pier can just go be Paradise Pier somewhere. So I think that's about it on Disneyland Hotel, and that would make it for this episode. So despite it being a long time since they've said anything, I promise you that Tom and Morgan are still just sitting there in the background quietly.
Listening intently.
Yes. And
there he is.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
And yep, see, they're still there. We did not let them go, just like hopefully we didn't let you go on this. But that's going to do it for this episode, though. I have nothing else to input and just want to say thank you again to everyone out there who was listening and watching to it. And thank you to the team for participating in this one today. And we will see you again next week with another episode of the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged. But until then, remember, as Tom Bell always says, Disneyland is more magical when it is shared. I still don't think I got that right.
I think you were closer.